Hello everyone, and welcome to another match of the Scrubs tournament here on Scrubs Central. Tonight, we're gonna have Group X, the lower bracket, round 4, Lex versus Kevin. So this is gonna be high. To be honest, I'm quite tired, but instead of drinking coffee, I'll keep myself awake with wonderful race. The game audio is too loud. I'm sorry for that. I think we should be fine now. So, welcome everyone. Again, if you couldn't hear me before, because of weird game audio issues, I can only look at a few green bars and have to guess how loud it is. Before I hand over to our wonderful commentators, we have a little issue with our tracker at this moment, so ignore that for this second. We're working on it. And with that, I'll introduce you to your wonderful commentators for tonight, named Mr. Carp and Kariokami. Hello, you two.
Hello. Oh.
Hi.
Hi, match. I'm ready.
This is definitely going to be a fun race because obviously this is the losers grand final. So whoever goes up, finishes this, will go up against our winner in the winners bracket so far, who I cannot recall at the moment.
That's me. That's why I'm commentating.
So you're doing what my opponent did, which is you're taking notes.
Absolutely. I've got my pad right here.
So that means all commentating, hint stuff is going to, note taking is going to be down to me. Fair enough.
Okay.
After all, got to give you time to write down your own strategy notes.
I got confirmation from our runners that we are ready to go.
Nice.
So,
How's our tracker doing?
I'll figure it out. Give me a second. I'll give you updates. And I'll let the countdown go. It's all up to you now.
I haven't seen Lex play much recently, but I've seen Kevin play a lot. Massive improvements on Kevin's side. Got a sub 2 last week.
On the other hand, I'm looking at these Kakiri icons and I can already tell who's won the tunic colour race.
I like a teal.
Yeah, Lex is definitely the winner so far.
I agree. And blue hearts as well.
Oh god, keep that consistency, haven't we?
Yeah. Nice backward track straight into my doors.
So what have we got? We have a heart, a 50, another 50, and a blue 50.
That's an early Deku set.
Yeah, we don't need anything else, just buy your stick, buy everything. What is it? Sticks and shield. That's all you need.
Yep. 1 shield, 5 or 6 sticks depending on if you do any farming. Let's go. There we are, 6 sticks for Kevin. And Lex.
I mean, in this situation, I know the standard is like 4 sticks, but would you buy multiple?
I think
just reasonably.
early deck you may as well, right? If you're full. You're going straight to market afterwards. You're going to be farming coins.
Would you also possibly risk, though, buying nuts?
No, never. You get a 5 in your Deku tree. It's good enough.
A short update. I hope the tracker should work now.
Looks good to me.
Looking good.
It looks good to me.
And there are first hints.
So we have... Ooh.
King Zora is dead.
King Zora dead. Okay.
It's a shame. I enjoy King Zora's seeds.
It definitely is a fun one. Until he has your Paradox Letter or your Long Shot.
Yep.
Or in some cases, your first magical hookshot.
And all one
it's
bag.
the cat.
Oh yeah. Let's go chickens.
Yep, chickens, here we come. We already know what I'm calling for. On the other hand, it is a water is wet worth.
Is Deku going to be useful?
Oh, that will depend though.
It shouldn't matter. They're both doing Deku. We're happy.
Yep, so we've just got nothing in the first chest. Hopefully they do find something at least good enough to point them in the direction where to go after Deku Tree. After all, at the very least, even if you do an early Deku and there's nothing in it, at least if it's a medallion or a stone, it will point you in what direction to mainly go in. Particularly with a catwalk.
Yeah. I mean, you always have to do an early Deku. It helps your routing. Oh, there we are. Go on, Tunic.
Yep. Goron Tunic, so we know we might go to Crater and Fire Temple, possibly.
Hmm. It's one of those things, though, Fire Temple. I always feel bad about doing an early Deku and then rushing through Adult to go to Fire. Because
Am I the
you never
only
get
one
BS
that's-
sorted.
Am I the only one that sees Kevin posing like a French girl there?
No, I get that as well. Both in and out of stream.
It's
You've
just
got-
the curse of rights of being on restreamed on the right hand side.
Hopefully it's not a VC crash.
Lex, stop for
Looking
a second.
okay? Looking okay? Yeah, we're good.
Oh, yeah, we're good.
It's okay.
And
So we'll just let...
And that spider is definitely teaching us that it doesn't matter how much of an experienced runner you are, sometimes it will just knock you off.
Indeed. It's nice though, the button still turns you around, so it doesn't matter. You just run straight onto the button, you'll reset really easily.
Yeah. So we have nothing up top, and I believe the chest at the very bottom in Deku Tree Basement has the highest chance of actually giving you an item in all of Deku Tree.
Wow.
I believe this was a conversation we had several streams ago with Trent at one point.
That's really interesting. Is there a reason for that, or just...
I believe... I don't know why. It's kind of like how the bottom left chest in Mido's has a higher chance of having an item for you.
Okay.
It's one of those kind of weird logic things. I don't know why. After all, I am not the best person to talk about logic. And we have a strength. Just
Finding that
prove it.
strength. Yeah. That's really nice.
Right, nice flame storage there. Both would be very happy with that.
It lends to nice routing into Adult, going straight into Todongo's Cavern.
Yeah, all you need is your strength to activate, well, get the little Goron. What is it, Link for Goron?
Ooh.
Bit of a pain, but...
Lindley Goron, there's a nice trick for that. If he pops out the left-hand side, just pick up and drop the bomb flower straight away, and he'll run into it. It's absolutely free.
Oh, really? So as soon as he pops out, just drop it and then done?
The left-hand side, if he pops out, pick it up, put it down. There you are.
I never need to time that again. Okay then, I will take that in.
Yeah. There we go.
Oh, and that's a nice quick scrub cycle.
Nice and close so far. Kevin having a slight edge in terms of mechanics, but anything could change.
And a nice broken
Oh.
stick. Ooh.
The
Oh,
side
was
hop.
nice.
The side hop is needed.
Yeah.
It's okay. Anything could be up. Could be nerves. I know how nerve-wracking it is being on restream in scrubs. What was
Yeah,
your one
especially.
cycle?
Oh,
Yes.
nice one cycle. That is a beautiful one cycle. I will say, I feel that there is also a bit more pressure when you're the one that's having to supply the clean audio as well. I
Yeah.
find that sometimes gives a little bit of pressure.
So is anything locked behind slingshot? No. Okay.
No. Well, this might be a medallion or a stone, we do not know, but we know
Yep.
that we have a strength. And it is a stone.
Wowie. AD, let's go.
Might not necessarily be, it might be a soft AD.
Bit like the EU Weekly.
Yeah. I mean, they might have just ended up doing a whoops, I did AD for no reason.
It's alright. We're happy to have gone there. We've got a strength. Nothing too bad.
Yeah. On the event, Kevin checking the sword chest, which I don't believe Lex did.
No, not yet.
I mean, when you have a full rupee pouch, you're just like, right, I'm going to spend it just in case I get another bloopy. I find that in the early game, money is one of the more essential pieces to have in early game. Late game, you just don't care.
I think once you've done Lost Woods, you're quite relaxed. It's always a bit of a stress when you're trying to go through doing the scrubs and you don't have enough money.
Mm. And those are some beautiful backlights by Kevin. And Lex is going to town.
Skipping sword chest. Man after my heart.
Good boy. He knows it's useless. Let's see if he also skips Southern Grotto. That's also a pretty valid strat.
I think the timing, certainly after doing Deku, it's worth skipping Grotto. And even with this time, you can get to Adult Day Cac with a good backwalk. So you can go straight for that Cac Way the Hero if you wanted to, and into Dunga's Cabin.
Ah, but that's if you want to do it with strength.
I think I would. We'll see what Kevin does. I'm famous for doing my skip Lon on Ranch. I leave that for a good 60-90 minutes. It annoys Thunder greatly.
Oh, poor Thunder. I mean, I understand skipping Talon's chickens, but...
No, I'll always be pushed to do it if I just have all the items I need to do a few dungeons. I'll just leave it for a while. Yeah, exactly. Who wants a bunch of counts? It's 3 checks. 3 checks, 5 minutes. That's what it takes. Oh. Okay. So we're gonna buy a shield? Oh, Kevin's buying a shield. Let's go.
We've
Let's go
probably
adult.
got a hint check. Okay, so let's get ready. We've got...
Chicken's dead.
No!
Oh, rip.
Lex has purposely left that on screen.
Oh, no. Nocturne Asarias. Deku Trio the hero for that strength. Indicates something else is locked behind strength. And Stormmaster's Piece of Heart. That pushes me even harder to go have a look at the Dodonga's Cavern with that strength. Where's Kevin going? Getting that money. Oh, to do
Oh yeah, to do child shooting.
yeah, I see that. I never knew there were rupees up there.
Yeah, I understand that's fully Thunder. I'm 100% with you. It just proves that Chickens only loves me. At some point in this tourney, Chickens could not be Way of the Hero.
Okay, we're grabbing the egg, and are we doing 3 song.
Both of our runners opted to do it. Now, with that strength for the hero, obviously that can mean a multitude of things. You definitely need a strength. That could also possibly be a hinted strength for Spirit Temple to gain access. Definitely for Forest Temple. And as we were talking about earlier, doing Strength DC and just opening up Death Mountain Crater as well.
Yeah. I always feel like if it's a strength one hinted way the hero, and I don't find anything other strengths in the same sphere, then I always try and push up my strength checks, my strength 1 checks. So that could be pushing up a bit of inside Fire Temple. Oh, we've got a hook shot on Dog Lady.
On Richard.
And then we've got the Forest Temple push with our hook shot strength.
So if we find a bow in Kakariko, we would have to rush Forest.
Even if we don't find a bow, I still think you do if you go there.
And Desert Colossus is foolish.
So either Prelude or Serenade there.
Yep. And it also means there'll be nothing on the arch for our runners.
Yep. 1 less bean to buy. And it means we don't need to remember that Colossus Fairy. Frogs 2 is a magic meter. Oh boy.
Let's hope that's our second magic.
No, first magic, let's go. Oh yeah.
I mean, I want it, but I also like sleep.
That's true. Although that just means all of our hints are going to be looking at songs. So let's go. That's what I like.
Fair enough. After all, we are commentators. We are not the ones playing this. So we are allowed to wish this pain and sufferance on our runners.
I know, it makes a difference when you've got to think about logic where it's all hints pushing towards songs. Oh no. Would I skip? Well, to be fair, I do have a seed to throw. So I could skip. I wouldn't skip Branch of the Frogs 2 seed. But I could.
On the other hand, Lex opting for the 2 box. I'm a little bit surprised to actually see that strategy used in Group X, whilst Kevin's using the sword jump there to get across with 1 crate.
I think it's just saving sticks, isn't it? In case you find any explosives, that means you can do Warforce Grotto and Warforce as child.
Very true. And we have a Vanilla ZL.
It's very nice. 1 out of 6. Let's go, Frogs 2.
Hold on, who rolled it? Oh, Xenia rolled it. Frogs 2 required. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Lon Lon. Give me a
Yes.
nice Song of Storms. Early well played. Let's go.
I mean, it would be good if it was Song of Storms. Or Nocturne.
Not gonna be nice.
Do you know what I'm really hoping for, though, here?
What?
Sorry, song.
Sorry, it's not gonna be nice.
Yeah, just for that logical forest access.
And a cabin special going in to do a strength Goron City
Very true.
with ZL and Sarias. That's a nice 2 checks you can do early, where that zone could be often lost for a long time.
Yes, and it could hold your last location boomerang, as my last race pointed
no.
out.
Okay, 1 more chicken left.
Come on, you can do this.
There we go. Oh, it's just that. Yes.
See, it makes me worried whenever I see people go pick up a chicken right in front of the door, because sometimes that door, if you hit A to pick up the chicken, it will register the door instead.
Yeah.
And you'll walk straight out and you'll be like, no! Particularly if you
Okay.
only had enough coins. And we had Bolero at Long Long.
Bolero's nice. Nice to
Exact-
skip the climb up to the mountaintop as well.
Yep, you just immediately go there as adult. I approve of the pun there. Malon taught all the Lynx a lit song.
Appropriate and correct. I like it.
After all, there's no horsing around on this stream.
Oh wow. There you go.
No, today is going to be a free up the puns. You don't need to waste your hard-earned points on that, because I'm already on here, and all you need to do is summon Trent just to annoy him.
So here we see our first divergence. We're getting Lex down into Valley probably, and Kevin rushing that 3-song.
Lex is definitely a fan of this. I've seen Kevin do it a few times, but Lex more often. Doing Valley from Long Long. I'm not sure if it's such a time save.
I don't know. The more and more I play Seeds now, the less and less I do Early Valley. 3-song is just so efficient. I can see Kevin buying 2 sticks and going in and doing the scrub, or even saving the scrub till after we've done the end of 3-song, so we can reset and get our rupees back.
Well, you can easily gain another 5 rupees just from jumping there, so he'll have enough for first scrub.
Yep.
I mean, Valley could basically, avoiding that could save time.
Big Pose is a huge rupee.
Oh, Big Pose. Spot on that. I cannot read those hints that fast. I get the first bit and never the second.
There are some ones that I can find really easy, but some of them are really difficult as well.
That was nearly ZL there on Memory Game.
Oh, Hiding
Right,
Shield, not a huge rupee. Hiding Shield.
Hiding Shield. Alright, there's Lex picking up Lara. See what the crate gives him.
Okay, a blue pea. Roll the waterfall, hold the treasure. Okay, huge rupee anyway. There we are. No more money troubles.
Nope, no more money troubles. It'd be interesting to see, because I have seen slingshots on the waterfall more often than not. And
Just a
today
piece of
it's
heart.
happy.
Okay, Minuet is Minuet.
So, Minuet Vanilla.
Yep.
So
looking for Sarias. Yeah, looking for Sarias for logic.
Oh no, wait, Saria's was hinted on CAC, wasn't it?
We saw that it was Where the Hill. I didn't see that it was on CAC.
I think we had Burning CAC was hinted as Saria's.
Oh, there we are then.
Ironically, we saw that hint before we were even discussing Long Long songs.
Yep.
So I don't know why I said I wish Saria was there.
It's okay. It's just been a long day. There we are. 30 is Ruta's letter. I love Girl Seeds.
If you want to have to be forced to do a 30 Skull Seed, get Xenu to roll it for you. Most of his seeds are normally required that.
30. Sorry, go on.
We now have Prelude as well on Saria.
Yep.
So we know that it has to be Serenade on Colossus, because that was hinted foolish.
And thankfully, because Saria's is hinted, we know that the Way the Hero and Cat can't be Saria's song. So something else must be useful there. Ocarina of Time was
Epona.
Yep. Both of them being there. Lovely.
I love that image just there. It's literally a feels.
Magic could be locked behind AD. We haven't seen the medallion layout yet.
Yeah. I mean, if it is our first logical magic on Frogs 2, and it is locked behind AD, then we've got to hope that Shadow is not a stone. Because if it's a stone, that means we have another magic.
Oh, long
Ooh.
shot already.
Sub 30 long shot.
Yes, please. That certainly helps with the scrubs. The skulls, even.
Certainly does. And now
Okay.
this is a question. It's both are technically Sphere Zero.
Yep.
I say technically they are Sphere Zero. But the problem is though,
Oh,
Child
Forest.
Vision is such an easy one to just miss and not do.
Yep. Forest Deku Shadow is stones. Still could be. No, it can't be Frogs 2 anymore. Can't be Frogs 2 because Shadow's locked by magic, so it
Yeah.
can't be our first magic.
No. We have Goron Hammer Chest dead.
Okay, and here are medallions. Let's go. So, let's see where Forest is. Stungus Cabin Water, Spirit. Okay, good. With a long shot early, and with Kevin potentially missing out on that long shot for quite some time, it'll be interesting to see how that plays.
Mm.
I will cast away the hero for ZL.
May not just be for ZL, it might also be on whatever's on Din's Ferry.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had Dodongo's Caverns for the Light Medallion, we saw that. I believe I saw Spirit Temple for Water Medallion.
Yeah, I thought water was Forest Medallion too.
Yeah, water was forest.
We'll see in about 5 minutes where Lex goes.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, hello, it's getting filled in. So, oh, Water Temple was forest, fire is vanilla, Spirit Temple for water, meaning our Jabu is our spirit.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, those 30 skulls are hard required.
nice menu buffering to get that side hop there. As adult, it's not easy.
I'm surprised he doesn't try and jump up onto the roof by the guard, by the gate.
Certainly. Especially with a hook shot. Shadow Temple's foolish. Stone Shadow foolish.
Boo! That is not what we want to see, Xenu.
Okay, well, we've seen double defense. Let's see what else CAC has to offer. Oh, that was nice. I was in that. Oh, it's a shame.
Also, I don't think we mentioned this, but we got the scale in Lost Woods, so domain is accessible to child.
Certainly. We may see Lex go early domain. Zora's tunic available. Just some iron boots. And then we know how to get into water. Or we could even look for a gold scale. Oh, claim check?
Oh, claim check.
Could that be Way of the Hero?
I mean, Zora Tunic can be Way of the Hero for Center Pillar.
True.
And Toilet, but you've got claim checks. That might also be Way of the Hero.
Could be the song here as well. Let's look. Storms.
Storms.
Certainly feels like the Way of the Hero now.
Yep. Well, with that knowledge, and I believe Kevin is the one with the 30 skulls hint, if I'm correct, then that means that he'll know, right, I'll get my 30 skulls, and he'll probably time that in with either Nightcack as a child, doing Bottom of the Well on his way for that.
Okay, we must also remember that 10 and 20 is still part of Cackware the Hero. Potential. So we will definitely see them with the 30 skulls being required today. No, Storms is nice. Where the Hero. I like Storms where the Hero.
I mean, it's better than the Slingshot way of the hero.
Certainly, or even a lens. Lens waffles make me sad.
I mean, Lenswaff makes me happy personally, but
Whereas when you do the entire GTG just to find a lens.
I think I once did a seed and I saw Lens just chilling, and I was like, oh, Lens is way of the hero. I'm just gonna leave that now.
Oh yeah, French vanilla lens in Bottom of the Well. That'd be nice.
French vanilla. I prefer Italian vanilla though. So what time is Kevin gonna get? About 52?
50. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, red rupee there. No, is that fire arrows?
No.
No, red rupee. There we are. It's red rupee.
So
Very
Graveyard hasn't really yielded anything for us.
No, although we do have ZL, so it's worth seeing what the song is.
100%. At this point, we know what our foolish ones are. So at this point, it has to be a warp song of some description.
Yeah, we know opponents is, we know Saria's is. We've got Storms. More than likely.
I'm gonna go Song of Time. What do you think, chat?
Yeah. Sun Song in the Grave spawns a Mirror Shield.
Ooh.
Let's find Sun Song in Sun's Grave.
Name is...
Yep.
Vanilla.
And you go straight into the Sun Song Grave if you're here.
I mean, you definitely have to, 100%.
Wow. Some crazy stuff happening already.
We've already got the shenanigans.
Okay, 1 bean. 2 bean? Don't think you buy 3 beans here.
3 bean?
Ah, we're good. Let the chicken calm down.
What, Fenton?
Indeed.
Yep.
Will this be a stick upgrade?
I mean, when you see a stick just floating there, you do kind of think, is that a stick upgrade? I can get that on the way. Might as well give it a shot.
It would be
Particularly
so
if you're on your way
nice.
to Baronade.
Kevin must feel really good finding that unhinted. That is a stick upgrade, 20.
Nice.
Okay, so we're going to play Bolero, get the other song. Maybe we dip? We dip first, okay, good. That strength with the hero, it feels right. Just to give a little bit of a dip.
Personally, for me, I wouldn't dip. But that is just a personal preference.
Yeah. I always feel like if I've got Bolero, it's completely free to know if I need to hammer or not. Outside Gannon's Castle, foolish.
Foolish. So we now have all of our foolish hints.
Okay, we have one small key. Bottom of the well is Way of the Hero. Certainly
Ooh.
supports that Storms being Way of the Hero there.
Definitely does, because we do often get Way of the Heroes leading into other Way of the Heroes.
It'd be really nice to find something on claim check though.
Certainly is a good SOS call, isn't it? Now, will Kevin free the Goron? He will not free the Goron.
Goron percent means you reset. Prove me wrong. There we are. Okay, and now Lex did not choose to go through domain now.
No. And we have Nocturne on the Death Mountain Crater.
Yep.
So, Ice Caverns is either locked behind Water Temple or it is in Ice Caverns. And what is our other song we're missing? We are missing Song of Time.
Time, yeah.
I mean, it'd be more poetic for Song of Time to be in Temple of Time.
Okay, nice and slow for Lex, thank you. Water Temple is forest. Like we said already, fire is fire. Where is water? Jabu jabu. Nice. Well done to the trackers for keeping track of that.
Huge shout out to our trackers, by the way, whilst we're on that topic. So please drop a follow to Miraba and I don't know how to pronounce this. Karim, for obviously helping us tracking and obviously trying to get everything sorted with the dodgy tracker today, which was also with a huge help from our restreamer today being Dreads. Also, whilst we're out, I might as well give a shout out to our runners as well. I'll drop a follow to Lex and Kevin and show them your support.
Oh, very nice. So here's Lex waiting for, is it waiting for daytime?
Yes, probably.
Yeah, there we are, waiting for daytime. Makes sense. And as Lex knows that there's a mirror shield back there, potentially with a Sun Song available somewhere here, will Lex wait to buy a shield? Probably. We'll see.
On the other hand, I would like to point out we got our first item of mean percent being the Stone of Agony. With poor Goron Link's cries of agony for his lost family. You're really setting the tone.
Yeah. Just need to poke your hookshot through there.
Yeah, you need to stand up against
There we are.
it. There we go.
Lovely quirks of Ocarina of Time. Okay, another. That's checking old hints. What hints are we missing? Missing a Wath and a Sometimes.
Yeah, that is all we're missing. Other than that, we've got all of our hints pretty quickly. So we're now getting a look into the Storm Grottos now. Hyrule Castle Way of the Hero.
Second time we've seen that, I think.
Yep, it is. And we have the condom.
Yes.
So,
Super safely.
after all, you always wanted to play your seeds safely, everyone. And more importantly, the fact that both of our meme items are in the Goron territory makes it seem like the Gorons are trying to meme very hard today.
Okay. Dip into Dodonga's Cavern. Let's see if we get that famous vanilla bomb bag. They all know and love. We didn't check, however, Vigoron.
No, we didn't. That's quite surprising because Lex was there, but I don't know why he didn't think to check it. I think he just rolled down.
I think,
Probably.
that
probably
was
just
Kevin, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, Kevin. Yeah, he didn't
Because
check
we
it.
went through Goron City instead of going up over the top.
Yeah, but he was so close there. I think he did check the grotto up top though.
Well, we didn't have any explosives, but we definitely checked the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So at this point, where would you, if you were playing the seeds so far, Carp, where would you go?
Definitely. Well, there's a thing of do what I would do and do what I actually do. That's two different things. If I was coaching, I definitely would be pushing Lex to go here. It makes the most sense with a strength Wath that you definitely know is real. And then after you've finished, if there's nothing here you can't finish, what have we got? We've got a water. Oh, we can't get into water. We've dipped fire. We can't do spirit. I reckon we'd go back and finish off, or at least after we've checked the minuet song, we finish off child. Pushing the skulls would be useful, seeing as we know that they're going to be needed anyway. Yeah, but Tadonga should have something. I'd be surprised if it doesn't.
Yeah, for me personally, after getting that Song of Storm, what I would personally have probably done is try and get all the songs I could easily get in reach, and maybe go back to being child and just dip well, because I know that's way of the hero, and I'll just want to dip it in case your first bomb bag is in there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, well, Toxic. Nice one. Thanks, chat.
Yep.
Real heroes of the seed.
Yes, the fourth waff was bottom of the well.
Long shot was on child fishing.
Yep, child fishing and Richard. So both are in Sphere 0. Very easy to attain, very easy to last location.
It's going to feel bad as well because we don't have a serenade. So, unless Kevin goes out of his way to go to serenade check, child Hylia. Although perhaps it could be something we do on our way through domain when we go child, but we'll see.
It will depend though, and if he ends up going to, well, realistically he won't, because no matter what, unless he crosses the Wasteland Vanilla, he's not going to get Serenade.
Exactly.
Because Domain locks Ice Caverns, which is up behind Geruto's letter. So you're not really going to head there for your Requiem. And you've got Water Temple, and Water Temple's up by your long shot on Child Fishing. So you're not going to go there either.
And Kevin go back to child, as expected.
Yeah, it's what I would do at this point as well. Now, he has Nocturne, so I'm curious to see where he's going.
What do we have? It could be Valley into Hylia.
Possibly.
Yeah, equally, like Aston's saying, we could be walking across and playing Song for Dampe. Pushing that well without bombs perhaps is the right play. No, it looks like we're getting a Valley. So Lex catching up a little bit. Kevin giving Lex a bit of time. Unknowingly.
Yeah, whilst Lex is thinking about it, Lex probably will not dip DC without a bomb bag.
Definitely does mean child fishing. We've got enough money. And once we finish there, probably go through Domain, play Nocturne, come out by CAC and do Storms, I think is the optimal.
I mean, ideally as well, if either of our runners can find a bottle, that will make their skull farming so much easier as well.
Yeah.
Particularly
you're
with all the warp songs, all they have to do is just warp away and just drop the beans. You can easily get 3 skulls from bean patches all around Kokiri Forest. Because there's 2 in Lost Woods and there's 1 in Kokiri Forest next to the shop.
Yeah. Definitely got an advantage. Okay, timing's going to be tight on 3.5 hearts.
Now he
But
has
we
the
have,
War
there we are,
Boots.
we've remembered. It's good stuff.
Yes.
It'd be nice to see the check on Big Goron if you remember it as well.
Yeah, and that looks like
no.
tick.
Oh,
Kevin, by the seams of it, has remembered his claim check.
yeah, there we are. And then we get to check another hint on the way down as well, which could be useful.
Yes. On the other hand, poor Kevin, we've sadly lost contact with him. He's a little bit MIA at the moment.
My big G, what's he have? A blue
blue
piece.
piece.
Sad times. Deku Trio the hero, second time. Of course, we know there can't be 3 Deku hints. Yeah, that blue rupee is my finest work.
I mean, it's more the clarity of the jewel, isn't it?
Yeah. Undercut. Where are we going? We're going straight. We're going straight to the well. It's really nice. Interesting to see how this plays off. What are we expecting? We're expecting bombs. We're expecting irons. What do we want? What do we want, chap? Hovers, Keck. Hammer would be nice.
Choose 100%.
Lens and hovers, let's go. Yeah, just to get to spirit. Absolutely. They do have a long shot. They don't need hovers. But hovers could be used for early fire temple.
Ooh, this would be evil. Long shot to get your iron boots in GTG.
That'd be nice.
That would be gloriously bad, but I've seen it done.
On that Warforce chest at the back, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
This is theorizing. Okay.
Because even though we have the long shot, because it's so early on and we need it for our forest medallion, the sea could be trying to make us go there early, but we do not have the iron boots.
Yeah.
And with what we have accessible, it has to if we want to go water early, irons would ideally be in bottom of the well.
Yeah. It's certain that long shot is required to get to GGG in this seed. Because opponents is locked away so far back.
Did Lex dip domain? Because I can't remember if he
Nope.
checked anything there.
No domains have been seen today.
Because I know he was on river, but I think he might have just gone in and then dived straight out. Into lake.
Well, speak of the devil.
Oh! Speaking of domain,
Certainly, what I was talking about earlier with Kevin doing domain into highly into domain even. Either way around. So we should assume perhaps that Kevin should have the boomerang at bottom of the well.
now that is going to make their skull farming so much easier.
Yep. Do you go on a magical journey across the world? I think you just push progression. There's enough skulls inside. Oh, and shoes.
And shoes.
Oh yes.
Like, and it's a 10-pack as well. So that he can also start scumming those away, ideally. But with that boomerang as well being in well, that means that he can easily get the 2 skulls. And we have fire arrows on diving game.
And torch run is Bloopy, okay.
Bloopy. But yeah, with that boomerang, he can get easily the 2 skulls here in well. So even if he full cleared, got all the keys, Lex can grab those 2 skulls, which he knows he's going to need for that Ruto's letter.
If we don't see 3 keys though, we know that whatever is behind the keys is bomb locked. Okay, Sun Song. This easy skull check.
Oh, now he's found his hinted. I'm a little bit concerned though. I'm hoping that Kevin will bring up his menu in a bit.
Yeah.
So we can see if he's got the long shot or not.
We'll find out soon. Yeah, there we are, long shot. I think trackers are happy we've got long shot.
Okay.
We're not seeing frogs in the rain though just yet.
Kevin has done lake, so
Yeah. Kevin's a lot marked long shot. Okay. We're gonna be doing the rest of the checks with that chicken. Bought 1 bean.
now I am a fan of planting the bean here just because if I know I need to go ice caverns or want to risk that later on, I will plant it there just for easy access.
My only thought is why do we buy a bean there? We know that Colossus is dead. We've seen Crater. We've seen Graveyard. We've got a hook shot for Hylia. Must be muscle
Maybe
memory.
lab. Drop the bean down in Lake Hylia.
Yeah,
Just for
probably autopilot, like Lefty says. Lost wood skull today, yes.
And Song of Storms having, well, Frogs in the Rain having a stick. So clearly a stick broke off from that bundle up on the arch and the Frogs was like, oh, here you go. Here's that missing stick from your upgrade.
There we are. Okay, thankfully nothing locked behind bombs in the well. Absolutely, absolutely.
Now this is another strength check because you can get that chest back there with strength.
Yeah.
So that he could be trying this one to preserve his choose, but also checking to see if that strength way of the hero is leaning towards this check.
Yeah, it's quite free. Oh, has Lex lost her shield?
Oh no.
Sad times. And we've got a key in the bottom. Well, okay. So, assuming that the coffin doesn't have a key, we have one more check left in the well. That's behind bombs.
And he has 2 keys, so Lex can go grab those other 2 skulls quickly as well.
Yeah.
They're free, the easy, he has Song, and then he can check 10 skulls.
Looks like we're going to be scumming choose to check the bomb checks in here, which is a smart move. Oh, rude. Very rude.
Rude. And of course, Lex can't shield drop, so he's having to get himself a bit further back than what he usually wants.
Especially without buying the Hylian shield. You can always equip the Hylian shield to shield drop if you're in a real pinch. Dampe provides a red rupee. Okay. We should know that this is a small key. No, we've seen keys. There we are. Good.
I'm hoping Lex goes and grabs those 2 skulls in well. He has Boomerang, they're right there.
I don't know, they take such a long time.
The one on left side doesn't.
Pose.
And if you've got 30 skulls you know that you need to farm, you might as well grab those 2.
Is that Kevin on 18? Looks like 18.
It is.
It's nice.
And I believe Kevin as well has also been plays a lot of multi-world. Particularly with Skull Sanity, so his skull routing should be very efficient, and it was 12 he's got.
There's a 12, there we are. Have we seen a skull mask hint yet?
Yes, we have, and this is dead.
Oh, nice. Okay, good.
We are still missing 1 Way of the Hero and 1 Sometimes.
Kevin popping in. Gonna be getting the boomerang as well.
We're definitely playing a bit of revolving doors today, aren't we?
Yeah. I mean, all the checks that they're doing make sense to do in this order, I think. So perhaps 10 and 20 might have something we need. Logically speaking.
Possibly. Lex farming up his skulls. We're also going to see quickly 10 skulls from Kevin first.
Yeah, makes sense. Oh. Always makes me sad when you pop in with 10 skulls and you get nothing.
I mean, I expected. Now, for me, from how I would play the scene now, with the items that we've got so far, I would probably head GTG with long shot.
Yeah,
or at
makes
least
sense.
go very heavy on the skull farming. Forget everything else, just go straight into farming.
Yeah, you've got 4 skulls over that side as well as the wasteland skull. So that's 5 on top of what you want.
Mm-hmm. Also, you gotta love how one of the most skull-heavy dungeons is locked behind Ruto's Letter, which you need 30 of the buckets for.
Yeah.
Oh, and let's going for the one in the graveyard as well.
Be interested to see. Like, I feel like GTG is a good play, and then jump down into water would make sense. You know that Colossus is dead. Get adult highly assaulted.
I say
Oh.
cross it. Just cross it for that serenade.
Could be a secret way, fifth way of the hero that we haven't seen yet.
And you never know, in GTG you might find your second strength, so you could just take a dip in spirit.
Yeah. Potentially finish it as well. All depends on what that strength is.
Because realistically, at this point, we just don't know. Also, the fact that both of our runners neither have actually gone to South Hyrule Field Grotto yet.
The Open Grotto, no.
So, we might have actually had our first logical bomb bag in there.
Yep. Could equally be on top of the lab dive roof.
Very true, very true. It will entirely depend on what our runners do.
Stake done.
And Lex is heading towards Long Long, so he can get the 2 skulls there.
Smart play. There are 1, 2, 3 skulls that we can get at this point. Lex has already got the one by the tree.
So he needs the one at the back of the ranch on the house, and he also needs to grab the one at the back of the stable. On the other hand, the fact that he was so insistent on farming skulls now and he decided to not get the 2 in well, I'm finding a little bit hard to believe.
This is a nice play though, because you can just play Sun Song from the back and warp straight to the entrance again.
Very true.
And like Wizard's saying in chat, they can end DC if they wanted to. Which might be a smart play before we go crossing towards GTG and Wasteland.
Yeah, you might as well. It's a quick, free, easy dungeon. And if Lex knows the 2 strats, he can just go straight in for it.
This save quit from Lex feels like we might be going to see Domain on his side.
He might also going to be checking his Way of the Heroes Song of Storms on the Storm Grotto here in Kakiri Forest.
True. Got a nice night time for the skull on the side of this house.
What's the name of this Kakiri Know-It-All, I think it is?
Can't remember if it's this one or the one on the other side, but the names of the houses elude me. 17. Interesting if our first bottle is Ruto's.
That would be a pain, though.
It's okay,
Lex
I think.
finally getting his sword chest.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe at this point in logic, the only thing that really is accessible to them at the moment is GTG in logic.
Yeah. We've got Adult Hyder, we've got GTG.
So, if there's nothing in Adult Hylia, we're gonna have to go to GTG. On the other hand, Lake Hylia might be our last Way of the Hero with that long shot.
Yeah. Dodgy Skulls and Logic as well.
Yeah, true.
Aston probably having flashbacks in that room for Kevin. There we are. We got our shield back at least.
Goron City.
Oh wow, that's really nice. Really nice for Lex to find at this point as well. So close to Goron City as a child, with the capability of doing Goron City as a child as well.
Yep, just got to save scan all those chews before you go in. Oh, and Lex not going there straight off.
Yeah, I suppose. Okay, we're doing the backward waffles before we start. We've also got Warforce Grotto to have a look in as well.
Very true.
And with the Stone Forest, that could be left for a long time. Ganon's Castle for a skull.
However, they have to both remember that all these checks they're now checking now are locked behind bomb bag.
Oh no. If you climb to the little ridge by the side of that skull and do a side hop, you get the skull very freely.
Yeah, but he also has the long shots. I don't know why he's not shooting.
Yeah, that's also true. I forget. Okay, nut upgrade and Warforce. Not important.
Not important, but very useful.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, we can't snub our nuts.
Fan of the big nuts.
Mm. We do like them a little nutty.
You're not yourself without some nuts. Okay. So yeah, go on, City, let's go. What will we find?
Oh, Kevin, also getting that Goron City.
Yeah. I'd really like to see Irons, and then for us to find perhaps Requiem on a Prelude. Save ourselves so much hassle.
Oh, and that's our final sometime, so 20 is dead.
Okay, there's the lens.
Oh, did I hear lens?
That's a lens in the generic grotto in Lost Woods. Yeah, all of our hints now. Will Lex do a strength pot or a chew strap?
Probably a chew strap. He's already going to be wasting a lot of chews. Might as well use them up and then reload your save and then just go straight for the ones that have items on them.
Unless, of course, we find a bomb bag.
Unless we find a bomb bag, obviously. But even if we do, it would have to be a bomb locked one or a hammer locked.
Unless it's on Dad.
If it's on Dad, it'd be great.
Okay, we're going to look through the maze. There is another skull at the back here, so that's nice as well. And a man after your heart, Kevin's going to long shot across the vast valley. June is locked by bombs? Okay. Of course it is. Because Cyrus is locked by bombs. Hover boots in the back. Oh.
Oh, no.
Early fire then. Or a forest it maybe.
See, we know Shadow Temple is foolish, but we also know it's a stone.
Yeah.
So that could make you think opponents, after all, horseback archery or big pose requires opponents. I mean, we did have a big pose hinted dead, but horseback archery is still in. So you really never know. but it can be Wave the Hero for, as you said, Volvagia, or even Floor Master for Forest Temple.
Yeah.
After all, Hovers is quite a bleeding pain when it comes to Wave the Heroes with a
And
foolish stone.
yeah, thinking about logic in this scenario is not nice.
And that is a beautiful strength pot by Lex. Unfortunately, he did not get it.
How many times do you try this then? With strength?
Me?
Before you walk away, yeah. How many times will you
One.
try this? Just once? Okay.
Just once, because I have no confidence in myself. I'm Group D. Do you really expect me to pull off this kind of strat?
I believe. It's all in the belief.
At least one of us does. I know where my skills lie. My skills lie with chickens. Oh no!
No, Lex.
Now here's
Perhaps
another
you...
difference as well, is that because Kevin is back here, he does have access to a few more skulls than Lex does at the moment. Because he can get the one here at the top of Gorilla Fortress, but he can also get the one at the back.
Yeah, and how many do we have now? We have 17.
17.
So Lex is still leading on skulls.
Still leading on skulls, but he doesn't know that 20 is dead yet. He's not
Yeah.
found that hint. So he might end up wasting a bit of time going back to CAC and finding that. And we are now in GTG.
Thank you, Cornban.
I missed that item that Lex got there.
Snap.
Yes, thank you very much, Cornben, for the resubscribing for 4 months. It's people like you that keep on resubscribing that keeps this channel internally going. Not for financial value, but more for the case of we appreciate it. It motivates everyone to volunteer, to continue doing what they're doing, and just love the rando.
Will we see nut strats or just spins? Ah, just spins.
Just
Nice double kill.
if it didn't quite hit the other wall,
Ooh.
look at hitting. Ooh, Lex, what's going on?
Oh, that's everyone, I think. Let's have a look. Okay, I have to refresh. Okay, I'm back.
Excellent. So Lex is looking like he's going to be doing a dip of DC.
It's a smart move. Get this sorted before you move anywhere else.
Here, let me help you out with that call, Ben. just use these other commands.
That's spooky. Seeing ice arrows in GTG.
Ice arrows. Oh, we are 3 for 3 out of 5. And we've unfortunately lost Lex again. I mean, I'm pretty sure that Kevin didn't mean to put a freeze on Lex's stream there. We will see. I mean, Lex, another reason to dip this is because, especially with that long shot, he can
Yeah.
get the other Skulltula just up there, which you normally need the Scarecrow for.
This is three additional checks we can get. Sorry, skulls we can get in here with our long shot.
And we have a wallet and a bloopy.
Locked by a hammer, wasn't it? The little wallet in the
Yep.
fire.
Look by the hammer. $19 from Lex. Now, I do believe that by the looks of it, our keys are a bit,
Pass.
Yes, it seems like toilet required. Though I don't know what Kevin's doing. Unless... Oh, he's
Money.
farming to buy cheese in the desert.
That makes sense. With no bomb bag, it could prove very beneficial.
Particularly when you've got these pots here that are just so easy to farm. Thing is though, Kevin didn't... I know he only has one key, but he could have quite easily have at least checked the maze just to see how many keys are in there, to see if those keys led him to something.
Yeah, checking that out of logic first check could be useful.
Yeah. Kevin does not know 20 Skulls is dead because that hint was, I believe, in the Lost Woods grotto next to the entrance to Goron City. I mean, it definitely makes sense for Kevin to grab Choose, cross Wasteland, get his Serenade, and then just Serenade over to Lake Hylia. As that is something I would do at this point if you believe that there's nothing really left in GTG for you.
Yeah. Nice jump slash over to the carpet salesman. And back. There we are, lovely.
Yep.
So on 22 skulls on Lex's side. It's going to be close to see who gets 30 first.
Well, I believe after they get 30, it's just going to be a rush for Jabu.
I'm getting more and more frightened of both of these competitors.
Yes, because it could be that they generally do need to farm up all those 30 skulls before they unlock anything.
30 is Ruto's letter.
I don't remember the command for the always hint. I think it's that one. There it is. Sorry, Kwon-Ben, I forgot to add that to the list of commands. Yes, we know that OOT is Epona, Frogs 2 is Magic, which we know cannot be our logical first due to the fact that Shadow Temple is Magic locked. And hello, Shawnee. On the other hand, it doesn't mean that AD is completely out of the question. If there's anything on opponents, it would have to be light arrows on horseback archery, I believe we said it was. Yes, I believe it was. Oh, and
This skull is so difficult to get.
I mean, from this angle, it's fine. The issue is those little things that keep on popping out of the sand at you. No matter how many times you flash them, they just keep coming back.
Yeah, those levers are not nice. Well, we've got the kill on the skull. That's the first hard bit.
I think after that, it's just an easy token. Its hitbox is so much more wider on a vertical standpoint. And Kevin only has 19, so Lex is well ahead now when it comes to the skull farming game.
Yeah. Although I feel like once you've gone and done the Hylia treks, it's a natural progression to go back into Donga's Cavern.
Yes,
So
and
we'll
Lex
see him catch up.
finally heading down to the open grotto, which both of our runners at this point have foregone seeing. So it turns out it had our bomb bag. It will be most amusing. So again, I am going to wait until after Lex has actually checked open grotto, whilst Kevin picks up his serenade.
Oh!
Din's fire! Oh no! Oh no, no, no!
AD.
It's beginning to look a lot like AD.
And we know it can't be our only magic source because we've got fire arrows on Kevin's side.
No, but the fact it was so early and free, paired with the way of the hero hovers, looks a little bit more suspect.
Yep.
On the other hand, Lex using his Jerry for his bomb
Okay.
bag.
Okay.
So he is going to be chuffed with that. That is a bomb-locked bomb bag.
Or hammer. But yeah.
Or hammer. So Lex now has DC completely clearable for him.
They're about to high five, I think.
Oh, yeah, by the looks of it, they will do. Instead, we'll be having an Espion Umbreon Lake.
Yep.
After all, as one starts to go into nighttime, the other will go into the
Yeah. Oh, no money. Sad walk of shame. Over to some grass. But yeah, definitely first Scarecrow on rooftop. Could have money up there, if not something useful.
I'm gonna say magic. Just to make that foolish Shadow Temple just that all the more enticing. Gold scale on top of the lab! I mean, that is the perfect place to find it, but... It also means Water Temple is accessible.
This is the place to ask those questions, Mariparis. Do not worry. Okay. Could it be in tech type?
Very possible.
So we got a 20 rupees. Still going for a bit more.
Still going for a bit more. Now, I'm thinking in logic. The only thing I can think of that is in logic is literally the center maze in GTG. That's the only places either runners haven't checked. Because we got one key when Kevin was in GTG.
I thought we just... Did we not see it? Maybe I'm... Oh no, I was watching Lex's screen. There we are.
Yes, they did dive, but they didn't find anything on it.
There we are. Yeah, for the money. The 20 rupees there.
Thank you for the raid, Timmy
Ah.
Tom.
Thanks, Timmy.
We really appreciate the raid. Well done, all of you, for sub-2ing a seed. On the other hand, Lex is doing the gold scale dip of Water Temple.
I think you have to at this point. You're here. Although, it means more for Lex to do it now because Lex doesn't have Serenade.
True, but it'd be interesting to see what Kevin does. I mean, he'll now finally go and get his Din's Fire from the open grotto. And he has 15 chews, so he can get his first bomb back.
Yeah.
Oh, and here's Kevin picking up his first bomb back.
And really, nothing in here is in logic. Yep. Just feels good to get them out of the way when you don't have Serenade.
I thought that if you got gold scale, that Water Temple would be in logic, or is gold scale water just a trick?
As far as I know, it's just entrance, but nothing in there is in logic.
Chat, can you confirm this?
Yeah.
Is there a way to tell who is in the lead? It's difficult
Gold
to
scale
tell.
water not in logic, yeah.
Oh, okay. Good to know. So with this all comes down to who's done what checks first and who's in logic. When it comes to who is in the lead at the moment, I'm going to push for Lex because even though he's not done GTG, there hasn't been anything found in there that's important.
Yep.
He is a hover boots ahead of Kevin, which were bomb locked in Goron City, which Kevin is about to pick up. But also Lex is also ahead in the skull count, because we know that there are 30 skulls required for Ruto's letter.
Yep. And in response to the dragon chest, it's once you've learnt the setup, doing 2 dragon chests with gold skulls is actually pretty neat. It's not bad at all.
It's a tricky trick to learn, but once you have it down, you're pretty much set.
Yeah. Left turn backflip, chew, dry roll 3 times, dive. No, it's certainly feeling like the bottleneck is on Ruto's letter in the seed. If not, a cheeky Shadow Temple into AD. Maybe our bows in Forest. Classic bow.
Vanilla bow. Oof. Oof. And even though it's not in logic, because we know Minuet is hinted on Minuet, which is Saria's locked, which is locked behind Water Temple, Fire Temple, and Spirit Temple. Forest, in logic-wise, is completely out there.
Yeah. Yeah, Ruto letter for moving Zora.
Yep.
And we know that King Zora doesn't have anything once you defrosted him either. BGS, just chilling. On DMT variant.
Oh, it is. It's a very nice find. Definitely gives you. What was it? Is 4 times damage or is it double damage?
I don't know the numbers exactly. I just know that it helps you beat Volvaggio in 1 less hit.
Yep.
And somehow, weirdly, the flare dancers seem to be resistant to the big Goron sword.
I believe it's because they are technically counted as in the code as Ganon, so the Master Sword does more damage to them because it thinks it's Ganon.
Wow, that's so interesting. Today I learned. And Kevin's going to be finding his hover boots now as well.
So, will he backflip Midos?
I think the sensible play is to get skulls right. Just push that 30.
100%.
Go into Dolongos, get your 3 extra skulls there, now that you've got long shot. Kill all the skull scuttlers, yes. Even ones you don't need, and still collect them after 30, because you're just brains AFK.
You're so used to having to go, right, I see a skull, I must have the skull, you must collect all the skulls.
Yep. Oh, there's a skull over here. Oh, wait, I don't need it. Oh, there's a hint. I don't need that. Every time. You can see Kevin go straight up anyway.
Well, Kevin is probably feeling a little bit behind as well. Because he had those shoes. Yes, he has the bomb bag. But he might be thinking, okay, I just want to get this dungeon out of the way. Just have it on my tracker. You're an hour and a half in. Collecting to 50 because it's a weekly.
What do you think the worst skull is, Incoherent? Or chat in general? What's your least favourite skull to get in the game?
That's obviously not worst skull on Child Climb in Death Mountain Trail because that is removed from Scrubs.
Yeah, that's removed from this logic.
Yeah. Besides that one.
Yeah, the ones you don't like.
I'm just trying to think which one I don't like. I suppose the one skull I really don't like out of all of them would probably be the one behind the target in Gerudo Fortress.
Yep. What's the main one? I don't like the one at the bottom of Gerudo Valley that you need bugs for.
Fair enough, Lefty. Can fully understand you on that.
Yeah. I think with hovers it's really nice because you can hover straight onto grabbing the block.
If you want to discuss similar topics to these with other Zelda runners or learn tips and tricks on how to get there, also our bow is bomb locked. So Forest Temple is now in play, and we can now use our fire arrows. Oh no, we're still missing magic for that. But if you want to learn any of these tricks, then feel free to join the Discord. All very friendly people, just jump into a voice call, start chatting and asking for tips, and everyone will be more than willing enough to help you.
And at 134 circa, we're going to get our second medallion of the seed. A lot of toing and froing so far.
A lot of what we have right now is all bomb locked, and Lex picking up my worst skull. Now, if he had picked up 2 in
So
bottom of the well,
there's a bomb bag somewhere.
hammer.
Okay, bombs on Baronade.
I mean, King Dodongo was definitely hammering around, wasn't he, in there? So
There's a bomb bag somewhere in the world.
So essentially, our first bomb bag has to be bottleneck behind Ruto's, or it is in the maze of GTG, because it's a bomb locked bomb bag, and that hammer is bomb locked.
Okay, so what are we looking for now? We're looking for strength 2. Looking for. Is that it? Is it just strength 2? And iron boots?
Strength 2 and iron boots, yes, pretty much.
Bottom of the well's already been cleared, unfortunately.
Yeah, bottom of the well,
magic.
Wave of the Hero
Magic.
was. Yeah, magic.
Yeah.
Bottom of the well, Wave of the Hero was your boomerang for your Jabu. We do not have our first logical bomb bag yet, which would put our first bomb bag, which we have collected so far, in South Hyrule Field Bomb Grotto. And that led us to our hammer, so we know that there has to be a bomb before any of these items.
And of course, like Lizzie's saying, we do need those light arrows. Although just getting to Ganondorf will tell us where they are.
And Lex picking up his ice arrows. Now, Kevin is certainly pointing out how strong it sometimes is with Choose being out of logic, and how easy it is to break out of the logic chain in the seed, and how much time it can save you. It's a risky play, particularly if the seed wants you to get an item a lot more earlier in the seed, and you end up last locationing it for that said reason. But it can be very powerful, because that means you could just power through all of your dungeons, no problem.
Early boss key as well. So those hovers could just be for that fire boss. In fact, very likely.
I
Watch
believe
out.
it's logic for her if there's an item further in Fire Temple, if I remember correctly.
Or if you don't have Song of Time and you need high score on.
Also, thank you to Shimwani for giving a shout out to our trackers, being Miraba and I'm always going to get his name wrong, Karem, because both of them are doing an amazing job tracking this. Yes, whatsoever. Also a huge shout out again to our runners, being Lex and Kevin. Drop them both a follow and support them. Also, who
So Mariparis, you see the item blocks that we have on the bottom of the stream? They're all filled in and tracked by individual people watching the race. Those are our trackers.
Yep, it is a volunteer position, and if you want to help, I mean, by becoming a volunteer and just agreeing to track, it helped teach me some logic. But if you want to sign up for that kind of early beginner practice and learning new tricks by tracking, then feel free to volunteer on the Discord, go into the volunteer channel, fill out the form. There is I wouldn't call it a test, but there is a test to become a tracker, but it's very easy. And Volvagia has a shield.
No smoking on Volvalve. I can't say the word.
Volvagia.
That's the one.
Yes, without our trackers, without our racers, without our restreamers, or me and my fellow commentator here, none of this would happen whatsoever. We certainly appreciate everyone here that decides to just turn up and have a good time.
Yeah, we came close without our restreamer today to not having this at all, so thank you very much.
And as Incoherent pointed out, it does make Hover's locking Volvagia a bit more unlikely.
That's true.
So I get the sneaking suspicion it might be Way of the Hero for our lovely Stone Foolish Shadow Temple. And Kevin proving to us that songs are hard.
Oh yeah. Okay, so what are we doing here? What's Kevin doing? Interested. Kevin hasn't seen 20, has he?
No, he hasn't.
That might be it. That, and we can do Rido Grotto too. Something that I am famous for forgetting.
Yeah, Lux also checking the Din's Fairy, which I believe had our fire arrows.
Nice.
But he also has a bomb bag, so he can check Montu Bowling as well.
It's quite nice to see this because Hyrule Castle's Way of the Hero. We assume it's for ZL, but it could be for this.
There was nothing in adult shooting, so it'd be interesting to see what Kevin does. Though seeing how well our runners are doing, Carp, you're going to be up against one of these two.
Oh no. That's Monka Mega, that is.
So from what you've seen of our two runners today, is there any concerns that you will have going up against either of these two?
Kevin's confidence to push out of logic to things that he knows is going to eventually be required. That scares me. It's the reason why when we've been doing these casual just practice matches on Scrubs Central, he's beaten me quite a few times recently. So it'll be interesting.
Lex taking it slow because he's not got a shield. Bottle. Well, that's going to make farming up his last few skulls pretty quick and easy.
Yeah.
Also, it means he's not going to one bottle Ice Cavern.
26. Yeah, I feel that, Dreads and Cats. Or perhaps Irons in Jabu and then Fountain with the bomb bag.
Oh, Lex not opting to grab another pack of chews.
A little bit behind, so I'll just refresh. That bottle
Yes,
is bomb locked, yeah.
The bottle is bomb locked, but it does make him harvesting up those last few skulls that he needs to get back into logic a lot more quicker.
Yeah, not choosing to do so. It is it's nice though, because you know that we're going to be working towards something that's in logic. So you're getting that item that's out of logic doesn't matter too much.
Particularly in a bottleneck seed.
Yeah. Literally. The bugs moving around. There we are.
Very close to the pond as well, so he could have nearly picked up the fish instead. And it's another stick.
So I think that's 28, as long as we got the one on the side of the house. 2 more.
Oh, and we also have a poll for bomb bag up, and so far everyone is guessing it is in Jabu Jabu. You know what? Because I'm evil, I'm gonna say 4-4, so the bomb bag will not be in any ice cavern, Jabu Jabu, or fountain area because I am cruel.
So Tektite had more chews. Gold scale not required this seed.
Because our boomerang in bottom of the well was not bomb locked.
No.
So, from my experience of Xeno Siege, your first logical bomb bag will be in Spirit. I'm calling it now.
Oh, Child Spirit. Or just Adult Spirit. Oh no, not Adult Spirit, please no.
Either or. It's just going to be in Spirit. So you have to do your Ice Cavern for your Requiem.
Ice Cavern for your Iron Boots. Vanilla Iron Boots for your Water Temple for your Requiem.
Either or.
Yeah. Okay. So Pot's been hinted. We're gonna have fun checking out Rolling Goron
What
and
has
Dad.
not been hinted?
I thought I saw.
We did it earlier and it was dead. We have Left May as being hinted.
Ah, I misread the hint then. I thought I saw Spinning Pot as Piece of Heart, but that might have been Left Maid's.
No, that's alright. I mean, that's why I always put Transport in my tracker.
What a picture! That showed me.
Yep.
Okay, we're still going to get this done anyway. Jabu has won the poll.
Yes. People are a lot nicer than me.
Seems reasonable.
Lex going to get his last skull from the bean patch in graveyard, probably.
Just some arrows. And moving on up. So, Lex not being able to get the spinning pot earlier, not going to hurt him. Just going to be playing on his mind for the entire seed, don't worry.
Well, no matter what, the seed is 100% locked behind this Fruito's letter.
Yeah.
It's hard pushing you to farm skulls quick and fast. It's not giving you the tools to do so. So Lex is playing it a lot more safer to logic than Kevin.
Yeah, at least it's not AD for Frogs too.
Mm-hmm.
Makes our hints a lot more meaningful as well.
I mean, Kevin definitely is ahead because he's 2 dungeons ahead. He finished the Dongos, he did Fire Temple, and he now just has to farm up his remaining few seeds, which I think he believes he can get here now as a child quick.
Yeah. Although thankfully, Dodongos is quite fast. We've got the shortcut done already. And Fire Temple, we have that early, is it Vanilla Boss Key?
Yes, it was hammer locked.
Yeah, it was hinted to be on 30. 30 isn't always hint for these settings.
Mm-hmm. See, with Kevin's skull routing, even though he didn't get them as quickly, because of how he routed them with doing Dodongos and Fire Temple, he managed to get all those 30 Cs without having to use a bottle.
Oh my, we're going to see a child Dodongo's Cavern. Oh, this is hype.
Oh no, child DC!
Missed! It's okay, it's okay, we've got this. Wow.
Did we actually see what was on the bottom of the water here? Oh, just a heart piece. No, I think this is actually the first time I've ever seen a child DC.
Lex must feel behind.
100%.
I think that's the only reason why you go child DC at this point. But I'm going to feel vindicated when we find bow and hammer.
I mean, he was able to do this earlier with shoes if he used them wisely.
Unfortunately, Lex came in with only one.
Mm.
So it was a sad time.
So now with the seed, the lead has now shifted over to Kevin. Just because he's already done these checks, he's already a lot more further ahead, and now he can go ahead and do, just go straight into Jabu.
The lack of warp songs is certainly hurting Lex. That serenade on Kevin's side is going to be very useful, especially with the scale. Being able to get around as child is very useful.
Serenade was on Colossus, which is hinted foolish.
And we knew it had to be Serenade because we got Prelude early.
Hmm?
Top tier gamer Kevin, remembering to get a fish. Not climbing and then realizing you don't have a fish in your bottle.
Well, mate, there have been quite a few times I've gone up to Jabu, went to go drop my fish, and realised, oh wait, I didn't pick one up.
Absolutely.
Happens way more often than we like to admit.
Yeah, Lex doesn't have a seal short, but jump slashing with that stick will be good enough.
Mm-hmm.
For some, you may not have realised it, but Dodonga's Cavern is a child dungeon. Something we don't see often.
It is as rare as a unicorn these days. Oh, and Dreads, our restreamer, pointing out that if you have a question you want to ask our runners later on, all you have to do is use !chat, type the name of the runner, and then ask the question that you want us to ask them later on. With Dreads asking the reasons behind the child DC, and Lefty with how do they feel about their skull routing?
Once you've got the shortcut open, child DC doesn't seem that bad now. But you do skip a lot of the dungeon by using adult. It's a lot faster. Yeah, the extra reach distance on adult.
Plus, as well, not having a slingshot makes it so much more easier as well, because you don't have to go into any of the little mini fights or solve any of those switch puzzles.
Yeah, known as Alphos fight.
There is a switch at the very top of the ledge when you go onto it, on the second floor of Dodonga's Cavern. And when you step on that switch, it will actually make one of the center pillars that keep rising and falling in the lava rise higher. So if you are dipping DC, it's always worth going up to that point just to activate that shortcut.
Yeah, it's available without bombs, which what makes that dip very useful.
Yeah, Lex getting nothing on the
That's
pole.
a bomb bag in Jabu.
Oh! So the poll was right. Our first logical bomb bag was in Jabu.
And logic is tied up. There we are, back into logic. How come it's not logical, Shawnee? We have a scale in logic. We have two skulls in logic.
Ruto's in logic.
We have a rang in logic. Didn't require bombs to get in the bottom of the well.
Yep. So we are back in logic. No, the rang I believe was at only ZL locked.
Yeah, thankfully nothing was locked behind keys in the well. One less headache to think about in terms of logic. Okay, so if you want to do everything with sticks, you need 8 sticks. We've got 24, so no worries there. Got enough nuts now.
Well, you never
you
have
never
too many nuts.
exactly. You don't want to run out of nuts when you're doing the barricade fight as well.
Because you can always just have a bad day with it.
Is that a double kill on the jellyfish?
I believe it was.
Oh wow.
It's always it feels good when that happens. And because Lex has Ruto's letter, he's now going to do these checks as well, which we know are dead anyway, because Kevin did them early when he dipped. but it does mean that Lex is taking up a bit more time.
I'm curious about the AD potential, though. Type that in. So we are strength 2, magic, and irons away from glow mode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, assuming the gold scale is available, but I don't think it is. It depends. It depends on if Dark Link has something. Or you can get into boss key chest. You can get pretty much everything apart from central pillar. Now we've got ZL, so it's fine.
Pretty much.
Yeah, Frogs do
Yeah,
has
other
to
than
be.
Center Pillar.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we know that Frogs 2, that is our second magic, so we know that can't be required.
Magic on Twin River would be interesting. It would mean both magic lock checks aren't required, no keys there.
And Kevin, not quite getting the lineup right with this trick.
A little bit too far away from the edge.
I find it's easier to line up when you're actually just facing normally.
It's okay. There we are. Interesting that we don't yet have a slingshot. So perhaps we're not too worried about AD.
Well, even with Deku Tree, Wave the Hero for the strength.
Yeah.
It was not required for you to beat the dungeon.
Yeah.
Same way that Forest Temple, that's now in logic, we might be required to do a little dip for it. For something later on, because we have Wave the Hero strength.
Yeah, that was nice. A little bit of targeting issues, but everyone has that. And really, Lex is only a small dip in fire away from being even with Kevin, so there's really not much in it at all.
As Dred's pointing out, Forest Temple is not logic without Saris, which is behind Burning Cax, so
Water, fire, and spirit. Or strength 2! Oh! That's gotta feel good. Oh, that's gotta feel real good. We've got a lax check as well for Kevin. Oh,
I think the strength we got in Deku Tree was our Wave a Hero hint to the second strength that we needed for Spirit Temple. That's gotta be it.
I mean,
Wave the Hero for.
Logically, the one on Baronade is definitely strength 2. GTG is clearable. Excepting obviously toilet. But you definitely rush spirit at this point, right?
I'd rush Ice Cavern.
It's a toss-up for me.
I would rush it just to see what that song is. Find out if it's Requiem. If it's Requiem, I can just quickly go there and get all the checks in Ice Cavern out of the way. And we have our butter knife!
Yes. Okay, now we have a logical bomb bag. Is this why? Is this Kevin checking Bombchi bowling?
Makes sense, he's right there. He's yet to check it. So we are now iron boots, light arrows, and magic.
This is getting very close.
Very
If
much not.
If Lex goes to fire, he might be tempted to go straight to spirit, and or because we're so close to it, ice cavern straight away after fire.
That's how I would do it if I was in Lex's shoes. Rush fire, get that done with, go into Ice Cavern just to see what that song is, and then go over to Spirit as soon as. At this point, at 2 hours in, with how long it took you to get any dungeons done, you want to start rushing your dungeons.
Yeah.
And if you know that there is even though it's Ice Cavern, it's an optional dungeon that you can quickly check, which has a possible warp song that you need that could get you over to Spirit Temple a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Magic and Deep Fire, ooh.
I mean, like chat is saying, I'd be tempted to rush Water Temple because the song there could be used as well. We don't know that Ice Cavern has the song we need to get to Requiem. It's a toss-up between Song of Time and Requiem. But, to be fair, Song of Time on Serenade check could allow you to finish your Water Temple. So it gives more credence to going to Serenade check. And I think that's what Kevin's doing. Okay, Lax was just a piece of heart.
Yeah, this is making a lot of sense, particularly with all of us knowing how powerful these warp songs can be. They can take so many minutes off. I think by him completing Ice Cavern, and if it is Requiem, as opposed to just going to Spirit the vanilla way through Naked Wasteland, because he doesn't have Lens of Truth. Well, now he does.
Yep.
And also, I don't think he's too happy with that hint. But without magic, I think that's what he'll be concerned about.
What are we doing? We're jumping over Mido. Doing the rest of the checks and lost was perhaps.
Possibly. But would you attempt to go get Minuet from here?
Could be Minuet check. I think. But you know Minuet's Minuet. I don't know if it's going to help you at all.
I don't know what kind of tracker Kevin's using. It might just be that he's forgotten.
Straight into Wolfos. Let's see if we back out afterwards. That's be interesting. We're going to get a nut upgrade for free here as well. Very clean Wolfos fight. I'm going to get vanilla strats from Lex.
I mean, you might as well. You don't have a slingshot, which is the free version of activating that switch. And if you're not comfortable or you don't know the boomerang strat, you might as well just save yourself the time and do it vanilla.
Yeah. No point in risking too much when you're feeling on the edge in a race. That means a lot. There we are. Going for a dive. Nice little dip. Oh, I could kill to go for a little swim in a swimming pool right now. Something I've missed since lockdown.
I mean, I live by the beach, so
Yeah, but
it's a little bit chilly. But
that's proper water as well.
It's also filled with a lot of salty races. Tears.
That's actually what the Atlantic is. It's just salty racers' tears.
Yep.
So, scientists are trying to figure it out. It's no meteoroid. It's just salty racers.
Yep. Particularly when they're stuck playing either Trent or Xenoseeds. Or anyone on the banned seed roller list on ZTR.
Okay.
So we have a gold rupee on the water.
Not even checking bottom of the fountain. Quite a tricky room if you don't have magic. But Kevin performing it really well.
Mm-hmm.
What song is nice?
Is it Requiem or Song of Time?
Okay, we know where Sarius is, so I'm gonna never give you up.
Never gonna give you up.
No, Song of Time is what my guess is. Energy.
Oh, we remember Cubs. We just choose never to mention them in fear of jinxing other seed rollers.
Well, there's still some time left to vote. Absolutely
Yes.
free to vote.
100%. All we need now to see where Lex is going. And he is doing Bolero, so he is now going to go into fire and hopefully Ice Cavern straight afterwards.
Nice little hint, tip and trick with this room. If you do block the ice keys with your shield, they will not freeze you. Just a little bit of knockback. So if you've not got BGS out, just hold your shield. You have no need to worry.
See, even with BGS and a shield, it doesn't matter. They will freeze me.
I'm dead.
Interesting that Lex goes for this chest first, unless I missed it.
He might just be checking to see what it is.
Yeah.
Because that could tell him if he's hammerlocked or not entirely from the seed, and if he has to go deeper.
Yeah.
After all, God forbid they had a Goron tunic. Yes, they didn't
Oh,
have a
no.
bomb bag, but there could have been something awful hidden in Lava Room.
Especially with that strength one way the hero.
Mhm.
Just past the pushing block in the shortcut room. Yeah.
Oh, I do love that meme.
Something that I've yet to learn. Maybe Kevin knows. Maybe we'll see some glitchless jumping in this next run.
I mean, it's definitely a very swag-filled strat, which I have attempted to learn.
It just looks so beautiful.
It's beautiful. It looks amazing. It's basically like doing bell strats in Ice Temple. Shadow Temple.
Yeah.
Because if it works, it works. But if it doesn't, you just void.
Slightly less forgiving in Ice Cavern though, because it voids you right at the beginning. It's really nice using the momentum on the ice to get that slide after the bomb drop. Something I might magpie from Kevin.
Something you might use against him in your
Absolutely.
possible future race.
Absolutely. That's the whole point of this tournament, is to learn from others.
Mm-hmm. Well, that and bragging rights.
Well, of course, but you know. Pride before a fall. Ah. Let's see what Lex does after fire.
And it's
That
Requiem.
was Requiem. Definitely would have been rewarded.
So we now know that Song of Time is behind our forest medallion.
Yeah, which means that River Chest is not required to beat water.
No.
But could have our magic.
Very easily so, and very annoyingly so at that.
Which, for me, tells you that we could be going having a look inside water now. After Spirit, if Spirit doesn't give you anything.
I mean, 100% polls are never accurate. But they are very top tier when it comes to memeing.
Starting to feel better in terms of pacing for Kevin's side, I feel. 2 hours 15 with 4 medallions feels okay.
It just makes you feel a bit bad because you're like, what do I do? Is my opponent got better skull farming than me?
Yeah.
Because both our runners know that essentially that Ruto's letter on 30 skulls bottlenecked them.
On the weekend of the race.
Another question is, after you've done Spirit and you're considering water, do you just go GGG? Do you reverse to do GGG?
I mean, yes. If you don't find Iron Boots, you've got to do it. Just because it's right there. It's easy to get to. Just go for it, particularly in Kevin's case, because he's already dipped there.
Yeah. Yeah, we've done the Silver Rupee room in GGG. Left hand side hookshot room.
Mhm.
That's one of the major time sinks in that place. We've got bow now as well. It's gonna feel good. In terms of playing for check density, it certainly makes the most sense to go GGG.
Hmm. Particularly when he knows that
They're the Iron Boots.
Iron Boots.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
then no GTG.
Just go. go.
Let's go get to Ganon and then have him tell you that all the light arrows are in Forest Temple.
Or on Gerudo Fortress.
Yes. One of the two.
We do need to find magic still, so that's another concern. But anything can happen in spirit.
I mean, this seed is 100% a very good example. So for Mary, who's here, this is quite a good seed to show you that you're watching that sometimes Fate Skull can literally lock you out of everything in this seed. Because nothing started to open up for our runners, logic-wise, until they got Rutos. And as soon as they got that, this is now just a dungeon rush.
Yep.
I just gotta hope in my next race the 30 skulls aren't required because I am terrible at routing my skulls.
It's something that I felt confident on until I saw Kevin this seed. So we'll see. That's our Deku logic
Yep.
for our AD. Perhaps
So AD is still holding it in.
perhaps we're going to get AD for horseback archery, for gold strength, for Ganon's castle for light arrows. Let's go.
Kevin having a really harsh time with this room. I mean, it is quite a pain.
Some nice box movement for this room, though.
Mhm.
Nice. Was that lovely? I've never
Yeah,
seen that
that
before.
was
That's really good. Absolutely, Shawnee. You know, to be fair, I prefer the hover strap where you run around the left-hand side of the room and then you void out
Mhm.
just before grabbing the ledge.
Now, I didn't know this until recently, but apparently there is a Song of Time block in that room.
Is there?
Yeah, apparently it appears right in the center.
Wow. This is me not playing vanilla. Golds, there they are.
Oh,
Okay.
hello. That looks very similar to what happened in my last race. I hope that Shadow Temple doesn't become a massive bait. But that being said, outside of Ganon's castle is foolish, so we know that it's not required. It's just nice to have.
Yeah.
Particularly with light trials. Oh, and
Second sling.
we're getting a nice picture of them titties
Oh,
down
that's
there.
the boss key.
Boss key. So boss key was child locked.
Okay, we've got enough keys to climb, I believe. So let's go. And we don't need to worry about the BMOS room. We've got a long shot, making it nice and easy for us.
Magic and light trial. It is possible. It'd be annoying, but it's possible.
Yeah, 3 keys and a... 3 keys and a... Well, more than 3 keys and a long shot. Allowing that to be perfectly easily accessible.
Is Spirit Temple magic locked?
Only if the fire checks in there have small keys or boss key.
Oh,
Not today, it's not.
Because I believe we've found all the keys.
We've certainly found 4 keys. I didn't count the 5th one.
True, plus there could be 2 keys on child's side.
Okay, good. Toxic. Toxic was counting. That's why chat's the real winner of the seed. Okay. Good to see Kevin getting his checks. Otherwise, they'll be lost to the seed forever.
And Lex doing GTG, he's now in the second strength locked room.
If Lex finds magic, this could be interesting.
On the other hand, he did not go Ice Cavern, so he does not have his Requiem.
Yeah, although at this point, you're still going to cross no matter what. The only important thing is if something is required on Child Side Spirit.
Or if he finds something in here like light arrows. Because then Lex is going to have to come back.
that is
Yeah, Wizard, in these settings, we've got Lens locking treasure chest game, the Wasteland Crossing, just like normal standard weekly settings did, as well as the side of Shadow Temple, which is after the invisible block. So thankfully it's not everywhere, just in those 2 locations. Still, it does mean that Lens can be more than not required.
Also from chat, looking more at the people that actually understand logic and not my deluded sense of logic, but is Hover's Way of the Hero required for Fire Temple?
From what we were discussing earlier, it's possible, but unlikely, considering the lack of a key involved.
True, nobody did Deep Fire yet.
Yet. There's a Hylian shield in Volvagia.
Because the only other thing I think it would be Wave the Hero for, if not for Volvagia, or Shadow Temple, which is foolish, it would probably be for the Floor Master in Forest.
Another bomb bag in GTG on right side maze. Of course that's bomb locked, but
No, but there's also a bomb percent.
indeed. Okay, let's have a nice fight. Kevin playing it safe, not using long shot. There we are. Good one
And he's got
cycle,
a beautiful one cycle.
nicely done. Easy enough with a nice big boy sword. Okay, so likely toilet has a key. I haven't seen all the checks from Lex.
I'm pretty sure it has a key. And Troll Rover's just left us her broken heart.
It's in center. Recovery heart. That's gonna feel bad for Lex.
So GTG was essentially unrequired.
Well, did we use the keys on the right hand side maze, or did we save scum? We save scummed. Okay, good.
We save scum.
That's fine then.
I think Lex was probably hoping on a magic in GTG
Yeah.
for logical crossing of the wasteland.
If Irons weren't in spirit, you definitely go there anyway.
Mm.
Cameron getting lucky. Although, can't be blamed for playing to odds, going to Ice Cavern, trying for that song, knowing it's probably going to be useful for something, and getting rewarded with Requiem.
Also, I'd like to point out as well, we are still only 2 items away from meme percent.
We're missing the bad meme, and what else? What's the other one?
Greg?
Yeah, and what is that it?
Greg and the winner's heart piece.
The winner's heart piece. Bad meme and winner's heart piece.
Yeah.
Jockey time.
I was wondering what Lex was doing there for a second, but I believe he
fine.
does a... Now, there are many ways of crossing the wasteland.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Looks like he just got down to a T.
Hmm.
First magic can't be on Dancing Dead, I don't think. We said that Saria's was on.
Burning cack.
Oh, it could be.
It could be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
I keep on getting mixed up where opponents and Saria's is.
Yeah. So, how can you get the two mixed up? One's a song.
I know, it's just late game songs.
You could tell when you've been messed around with logic for a bit too long, can't you? But Lex showing off a beautiful example for the number setup, where you can easily count how many jumps you go back and then side hop to get the correct path so you know how to make the beeline straight to the entrance without using lens. I personally do not use that setup because I find it hard to tell, so I use visual cues.
That's fair. I spent a good couple of hours just voiding out in that area. Learning the hard way.
And it's
But there
Lefty's
are-
point.
Go on.
Go on. No, you first.
So there are some good tutorial videos where they show you the zone out locations. So you can use those to learn.
And as Lefty pointed out as well, if magic is on Purple D, then it will tie up the whole hover boots question. Hover boots may be a massive bait.
Kevin certainly hopes that.
No bot. It is not 5%. I mean,
Just like-
really, logic-wise, it's not. Now that is much better.
Well, I would agree with it once we found out where lights are.
Shawnee, that is evil. I love it.
Or even where we don't find out where magic is. That would also be nice.
I just want Stone Forest to find a way. So at this point in the lead, it is 100% Kevin.
Although
All's
not by much.
Not by much. He is a whole dungeon ahead. As opposed to Lex.
Yeah.
Plus warp songs. So it really does depend on what Kevin does. At this point, this is Kevin's seed to lose.
Yeah. I would guess about 10 to 12 minutes ahead.
Plus, as well, all Kevin needs to do is go up to Ganon, have him tell him where the light arrows are, just to be able to go grab it.
And then not know where magic is and search for that for 2 hours. Let's go.
Ooh. We're in a Muggle glow mode. And there is the boss key.
Vanilla boss key. 2 vanilla boss keys.
What's wrong with Oh,
Well, Kevin is now going to be on his light arrow rush.
I mean, I can feel Kevin's heart going. I know how I'd feel at this point.
Everything's been bottlenecked by that Ruto's letter on 30. If it wasn't for that, this would have been a nice seed. Everything else has been on the way. So I think this is the seed trying to make up for us.
Hope for a nice quick fish on Morpher.
Also, I've just realised as well that Kevin picked up his double defense, I believe. If I'm looking at his hearts right.
Yeah.
Oh, they both did.
Yeah.
I
both
missed
got it.
that on both of them.
I can't remember where it was.
It's on top of the arch.
There we are.
I think. Is it on top of the arch?
I didn't see any planting of beans, but I could be wrong.
I mean, is there another way to get it? Oh, Kakri. Oh, yeah, it was in Cac. Sorry, I'm
Back.
thinking of the other seed I was playing.
Yeah, back. Back grotto.
Oh, and Kevin, he's just messing up this angle.
Easy done, to be fair.
It really is. Morpher... I mean, let's be honest, Morpher is a bit of a bigger troll than Troll Rover.
Sometimes just decides not to have a hitbox.
Like, hitbox, what's that? Oh, and Kevin gets it on the jump slash there.
What is on Morpher? A
A
stick.
stick. Oh, it's really sticking it to us today.
And shoot the sun is... You got to, don't you?
I mean, you might as well. You're right there. You need to check it.
I think perhaps you save and then shoot the sun. So you can just save crit as soon as you see the item. Was it? No, it was a shield. Okay.
Yeah, just get yourself straight out of there and right back into it. So, I think at this point we should have a bet for where is our magic. And just a reminder for everyone, here are all your lovely hints. So think very carefully. We have full cleared bottom of the well. I'm gonna go with Shadow Trial.
Oh, that would be mean toxic.
That would be me, but I was also thinking it. Yeah, Kevin just not even bothering. He's gonna check these checks quickly just for magic.
Don't know how I feel about this. Are you gonna? You're gonna do them anyway, right? So you may as well do them now. Except if you find magic in Ganon's Bosky chest.
Oh, hovers can be worth a Shadow Trial.
Yeah,
Oh, that is
especially without the magic.
I did.
Shadow Trial is the trials within Ganon's castle.
That's right, don't think we're gonna
So it wouldn't be Shadow Temple.
We're not dead yet.
Here's Kevin yeeting that rock.
Yeah. So nonchalant about it as well, just stands there.
Kevin just making quick work of them enemies so that he can just go through here. We found one of the 2 Ganon castle keys, I believe it is.
Yep. Yep. Only 2. Magic.
Magic.
There we go. Where are the light arrows? Another bow?
Who knows? That was very disappointing. On the other hand, as far as I'm aware, nobody bet light trials. And I nearly did, but I thought to go for Shadow Trial. Oh god, Toxic pointing out that could have been... No, it couldn't have been, because our first bow was in... was locked behind bombs in DC.
Yeah. I'm seriously scared of Kevin. Potentially a sub 3 with that bottleneck 30 skulls.
To be fair, the rest of the seed was just kind of handed to him, wasn't it?
That is true. Lucky to find that that bomb bag.
Mhm.
Lucky that Dodonga's Kevin had so much.
Yeah, don't worry about picking a winner, Dreads. I know I was the closest in betting. From what I saw. Oh! So did Sean actually bet light arrows? Yeah. Shadow Trial's second chest. Oh well. So now it's a case of where in the world are the light arrows?
I hope, for Lex's sake, somewhere main.
And it's
Forest
Forest
Temple.
Temple! I called Forest Temple!
There we go. That should
So
It's gonna
it's
be
going
hard
to
for
be in
Lex.
Courtyard? Probably.
It's gonna be the first chest. Just chilling above the wolves. And if it's not that, then it'll be a basement chest.
I love these memes. These memes are definitely top quality. On the other hand, Lex now going into Water Temple. Now he already did this earlier, so he's got some time to make up for it. All seeds are jet seeds. It's just that some have no engine. Truer words have never been said. Okay, well, while we wait for Kevin to find his light arrows. Might as well ask you what your hair Carp. So,
Oh, no.
Kevin,
Oh, no.
by the looks of it, is gonna be the winner. Unless he
Yep.
has a really, really, really long tennis match. So, depending on if Ganon plays badly, shall we say, what are your thoughts going forward into your finals?
I need to practice. That's my thought from watching this game. Oh my goodness. It's been really impressive seeing Kevin improve so much so quickly. At least I've got 2 matches. That's my thought. I've got 2 matches. I've got that advantage at least. But
Yes,
really,
definitely.
I am very scared. Okay. I don't know if I would have beaten Kevin either on this seed. Maybe I might have. I don't know.
At the end
It's
of the
so-
day, it came down to how you skull routed.
Yeah.
There are always ways to improve, whether it be through execution, routing, or just thinking outside the box when it comes to logic.
Absolutely. The it was the going to field. That set of checks after doing early Deku I find really hard to root in, but it's gonna be exciting.
Mm-hmm.
If the bomb bag wasn't there, it would have been even tighter.
Well, Din's wasn't even required for this seed.
Nope.
Nothing really was fire locked. I mean, there might have been a key fire locked in child side, but
Hint:
nothing.
do not skip Lon Non. Oh come on, you're no fun, Thunder. What if I win by skipping Lon Non? What are you gonna do then?
We're still
Okay.
gonna laugh at you.
I agree. You should. By no means should anyone skip Lon Non. I'll probably play super safe anyway, just do my 3 songs just like Kevin has done this feed.
Just skip South Hyrule Grotto, well, Open Grotto, because clearly you don't need it.
Where are they? Well, we've got 4 keys.
4 keys. It's gonna have to be on Floor Master, I'm afraid.
5th key on Floor Master, maybe. If it's not on the first chest in here, it's always on basement chest.
Well, whilst we wait for that, I'll give another huge shout out to our trackers,
Yeah.
Mirabat and Karem, and please give them a follow. Same for our runners as well, being Lex and Kevin 818. Give them your fullest support by dropping them a follow as well. And of course, I might as well give us a shout out because I haven't done it at all.
Yeah, go follow Curry.
Yeah, go follow Carp. Carp's much better than me. I'm Group D, he's Group X. And we have Greg!
Oh no!
Greg, the Lord and Savior, has returned.
I love that Thanos meme.
That is definitely...
That might be my favourite.
Wait, did we find the winner's heart piece?
Did we find
the winner's dreads? Did we find the winner heart piece? I didn't catch it.
Light Trial?
Light Trial. We have ascended to meme percent. Oh yes, I did. Blessed be this day when
No.
Thanos collected all the memes. Sadly, meme percent does not count as snitch percent.
Only if it did, though.
If it did. Oh, poor Kevin.
Easily done.
But so I was so wrapped up in the excitement of our dearly beloved Greg that I also forgot. Again, if you want to be part of the community, volunteer, help out to become a tracker or restreamer, which we are always in desperate need of just from assistance, or if you want to commentate, feel free to join the Discord, learn some many safe tips and tricks on how to improve yourself in running your own seeds in your own time, or just race against other people. It's a great community, a lot of fun, and just don't trust anyone in electrical in Among Us. They'll always be sus. Other than that, we will always be there to give you a helping hand, and feel free to join.
Yeah.
And Kevin's just really laying down on the ground there.
Yeah, frozen for me too. Getting a refresh from Dreads, thanks very much. There we go. Will it be in boss key? Boss key chests have been our saviour today.
Yeah. Oh, and there is the spinning green rupee himself. Shawnee,
Shawnee.
how can you not like Greg? I feel like Shawnee's just upset that Greg is more popular than Wooloo
I'm not sure that's true.
in this community.
Oh, I suppose so in this community.
Right, but we shall stop memeing. Lex is now about to pick up his magic and his winner heart piece.
Yep. Nice that Navi can see the invisible bats for you.
Poor Lex, he's probably hoping for his light arrows in here.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, and again, as another reminder from Dreads, our lovely restreamer of the day. Also, again, feel free to drop him a follow. If you have any questions for our runners, exclamation point chat with their name and ask them a question. And we will get to those later on when it comes to time of the interview.
Yeah, that was the winner heart piece. Will it be on bow chest? Nope.
She's gonna get that there. How deep are the light arrows? How deep is Bobby's hatred of Forest Temple?
How deep are you, lights? Right.
The siege will troll as it trolls all the time.
Don't worry, Shawnee. I am singing this in my head as well. I don't want to sing on stream, though. Right, we've got all our keys. Bomb shoes. One boss key chest. Okay. So we have magic now, so we can shoot the eye. Don't make a mistake. Don't go over there and try and play dense. Oh, you got the quick kill as well. Very good.
What's
Don't go over
quick
and play
switch?
dense. You will step off onto the ladder and you will soft lock. Just like I
Really?
did. I mean, I stepped off and soft locked during a weekly and lost out on top 3. I lost.
How does activating Dins there
So,
stop you?
if you climb up the ladder and play Dins immediately, you'll step back during the play Dins. You'll step back during the animation, and that'll put you onto the ladder. So when the animation plays, and you're on the ladder, I was on checkerboard. Nice one.
Nice. It was about halfway as deep as normal.
Yeah. Yeah, playing Dins, getting the cutscene activated whilst on the ladder soft locks you.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we were about to get a revolving door effect as well, where Lex leaves And Kevin goes in.
Yeah, pretty much maintained that 10-minute difference.
Become a bit less cringy, which is a good thing.
Yes, we did narrowly avoid it. Technically, Forest Temple is still not in logic for us, but we can backflip over Midos.
So we could have gone and got the Sarias, but we didn't need to.
It's just very strange. So, from what I'm understanding, there was nothing. Well, Greg was on Floor Master, so hovers really wasn't required.
Yep.
So, logic-wise, the hover boots had to be way of the hero for Volvagia due to really, really bad key logic and fire.
Well, if water locks Song of Time, does that mean that hovers were used for heist Goron? I'm trying to think.
I'm
It's
pretty
hard.
sure it would have been. But let's not think about it too much anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
At the end of the day, let's get hyped up for this Ganon fight.
Yeah. Go and get some bacon. Go.
Go get your bacon, pound it, or even better, get your own pork and then pound that into bacon. After all the great hero of times are doing it these days.
Lovely one cycle on the dwarf.
So good. Go home, guys.
Time for... I love that. I love the little noise that Zelda makes when the sword gets thrown back.
It's just so over-exaggerated, isn't it?
I like to think of it like a little bit of acid reflux that she's got.
Oh, and he goes down for the first phase. It's a very quick, clean first phase.
Yeah, expected from Kevin, I think. Let's get our 6 hits in. Or is it 5 for 6? I can't remember.
Yeah, whilst Lex is now only just entering Courtyard.
Left.
Right, here we go. One more hit should do it, I believe.
Yeah.
There it is.
we go.
Everyone, get your GGs in chat. And there we go.
Nice. 302,
We're fine.
31.
so close to a sub 3.
After all, it was that Forest Temple.
Yeah. Well, Lex did check Wolfos. If he had just grabbed the song there just to walk back quick and easily, he would have probably got a sub 3. But you never know when it's a stone dungeon. Right, let's see if our runners are free for an interview. Remember, if you want to have any questions for these runners, ask to them. Just exclamation point chat, and we will ask their question towards them when they are in here.
So, I can confirm at least Lex is up for an interview, and
Are our
Kevin
runners
confirmed too.
ready for?
Oh, you're in Discord. Weren't able to hear me. I just confirmed. We get both of them for an interview.
Nice.
Okay, so we've got both our runners for an interview then.
Let me. Yeah, that slide is glitchy again. I'm sorry. There it is. So while we're waiting for the runners,
Whilst we wait for our runners to join, please drop them a follow. Also, huge shout out to our trackers, Mirabeh and Karem. Both of them have done a wonderful job this evening. Also, huge shout out to our restreamer today, Dreads. And also shout out to my fellow co-commentator. And soon to be the rematch in the next race of your bracket, Carp.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Kari. Absolutely carried the commentary.
Oh, that's not. I mean, it is in the name, but still.
Okay.
After all, I carry a lot of things. Right, so we got a few questions ready, and I believe first in here will be Lex.
GG.
Hello, Lex.
Yo, GG's.
GG.
Wow.
Oof. I can't really say I'm surprised, to be honest.
GG.
GG's, Lex.
Yo, GG, Kevin.
That was a fun one.
Yeah, that was a something run.
Where did you end? Were you in Forest or?
Yeah, I was in Forest.
Did you have magic?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I figured that. Yeah. So when I went to Ice, that was kind of an information play, because obviously it's either Song of Time or Requiem. And if it's Song of Time, then Requiem's not required because Requiem has to be locked by Spirit. And if it is Requiem, then I can just play that and get there earlier. I assume that most of the time I saved was you doing GTG. Like, I assume you did most of GTD. And
Yeah, I did basically all of it.
Yeah, I went there. I went there at the beginning with nothing but a long shot and bomb choose.
Yeah, I did basically the same thing, except for I had just found the bomb bag at that point.
Oh yeah, so you were a little ahead. You got the bomb from the scrub outside of Hylia, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I was ever ahead of you. Like, I didn't get the bow and the hammer from Dodongo's Cavern until
I did that really late too.
I did mine at like close to the 2-hour mark, and I'm just like, oh, this feels really bad.
Well, actually, Lex, you actually acquired your bomb bag before Kevin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
I probably went to GTG, like I was in there probably while you were getting it. Because I didn't go back. Like I did, I got a wallet in GTG and I farmed rupees for a little to get 200 for bomb cheese, and then I got bomb bag and a couple checks. That was nice.
I mean, that did save you a little bit of time. I think because the skull routing, you got 30 skulls before Kevin, but Kevin had managed to route his just a little bit better. So you both got your Router's Letter at about the same time.
Mhm.
But the difference is that you, Kevin, you dipped domain and then went into Jabu. And before you even did that, when you got that bomb bag, you finished up DC and then you went straight into Fire Temple. That is what put you ahead.
Mhm.
Because you did those 2 dungeons before you did Jabu.
Ah, okay. So did we get into Jabu at about the same time then?
No, Lex decided to treat us all to a child DC.
Yeah, I had cleared up to the face, and I was like, let's just do this. I'm in Kakariko. Let's just, whatever. It's not that big a time loss if I'm a
Yeah.
child.
Yeah, you had already gotten the eyes, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
it's like I'd already done all the time save stuff, so it's like whatever. Let's just take a little detour and beat King Dodongo's kid.
Yeah. No, I mean that hardly loses any time if you've already raised the eye, or if you've already bombed the eyes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Ugh.
But
But
So,
yeah, that was the spirit key logic was really nice because like obviously fire was not required at all. So I knew that like I rushed Ganon's castle checks just because it was like the densest, and I knew that
yeah,
magic very well could be there. It was seeming like it had to.
yeah,
Either
I
there
was
or GTG. I was really hoping not GTG. I thought if it was there, I probably lost. But it was luckily in Ganon's.
yes. So I have a couple of questions from chat. So we talked about the bomb bag and how you had it before Kevin did, Lex. So this question is for you. How did it feel to exchange your last chew for your bomb bag?
Oh, that felt. I almost skipped it because I was thinking to myself, I was like, well, maybe I just save it for the check in GTG, and I just bomb the eyeball thing. I can't even remember its name in the Denalphos room, and I was like,
yeah.
I should probably save it for that. And then I'm just like, you know what, whatever. Let's just try it. And it's like, oh, it's a bomb bag. I am the most bailed out. Okay, fantastic.
Right. Yeah, there were bomb cheese in ATZ, and I like made a note about it in my tracker. I was like, might need to come back here if I get a scale.
Fair enough. So to both of you, how did you feel about the worry about AD? Because you had the Wave the Hero hovers and Din's Fire in Open Grotto.
Well, I knew it couldn't be AD for magic, obviously, because the other magic was hinted on frogs.
Yep.
And that was, of course, locked by shadow, which is locked by magic. I knew it couldn't be that. I was thinking very, very unlikely that it was AD. At the point that I knew it was most like that it was impossible to be so was after I beat Jabu. Or like after I got all of the items to beat Jabu. So basically, actually no. As soon as you get a bomb bag, you can know it's not AD because Sarios is on Burning Cack, and Minuet is vanilla. So you need Sarios to get that. So as soon as you have a bomb bag, Rudolph Letter, and Boomerang, you have the 3 medallions that are not the Burning Cack ones. So you're fine.
Hmm.
Yeah, I can't pretend like I went into that much detail with my thought process, but I felt pretty safe thinking that it probably wasn't all dungeons, so I had no intention of it.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. I will admit some of us were kind of gunning for light arrows being on horseback archery, though.
That is true. That is the only thing it could have been.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, just because we're all a bunch of dicks and want you to watch.
Oh, of course.
If he had said like Forest was pretty bad for the hint, but the worst one obviously is Gerudo Fortress.
Yeah.
So where in Forest were the light arrows?
Checkerboard
Fallen
room.
room. So if you had done the 3-key Forest and rushed that, then you could have gotten them instantly.
Sorry,
But you would do that.
I heard two people talk at the same time. Where were they?
The falling room.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Technically, you could get that as your first check, but
Technically.
nobody would ever do that, but you could do it. If he had hinted they were in the falling room, I was thinking, like, what would happen if I crashed now? Could I do for the fair play, since you only have like 20 minutes and I hadn't saved in a while? I was thinking, like, would I just be able to do that?
To
Yeah.
be honest, if you've gone for that first, I wouldn't ask if you have the spoiler lock.
Yeah, no, that's just like insane. That would have been insane. It's just the bad play.
Yeah.
I think for me, ultimately, my routing was just not really on point. I ended up double dipping a lot of places, and like, I don't know, I just didn't quite route it the way I wanted to, and I think that's where a lot of my time got lost.
I felt the same way. I felt, especially in the beginning, I was like, I knew that Skulls was going to be locking a ton, but like, I was trying to get Skulls as fast as I could. I was like, my thought process in going GTG was, there's a lot of like Skulls on the way.
Yeah,
Like
I was the same
two
way.
Valley that are really easy, Gruta Fortress, and then two more in Colossus. And then at Colossus, I get Serenade, which gives me the adult one, and then two as child, like really easily. So I figured that was like the fastest way to do skulls and also get some like reasonable enough checks. Even though going to GTG with just a hook shot is not very good.
Yeah, that's never a great feeling. And it didn't really do much, so yeah.
I mean, I got the wallet, which got me more bomb boosts, which actually didn't matter because I remember that I bombed, like I got my bomb bag and I think I had 11 left. So the 10 that I got didn't matter.
And that actually is leading into another question. How did you guys feel about your skull routing for all this?
Oh, really bad, not fast. I was, because just recently I had a seed where the first hook shot, there was no Sun Song, there was no Boomerang, and the first hook shot was on 30 skulls. And I think I got it almost as fast in that one. So clearly my skull routing was not very good in that. Also, it had no Sun. So I felt very, I didn't feel good.
That seed so I can add them to my ban list.
I think I forget who it was. I know that it was me and Felix played it.
Okay, so don't have a Felix thing. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So, Carp,
Oh no.
do you have any words to say?
Oh yeah.
Some of your box movement was just out of this world, Kevin. Like, I'm really impressed.
My what?
Box movement in Spirit. Some of your movement in Ice Cabinet was great. This is going to be a great match when we
Yeah, I'm
manage to
very
schedule
much
it.
looking forward to it. Thank you, by the way. I've been I did 3 seeds yesterday, and then I did like a lot of practice just this
Oh, wow.
morning with just execution. So
Well,
If only I wasn't a teacher and I had more free time to do this.
I got really lucky and I have no homework this weekend.
Oh yeah.
So I just had nothing to do yesterday, and it was raining outside. It's like whatever, just stay and practice.
Yeah, I will say though, on behalf of Carp, he was slightly wetting himself when he saw how good you were.
So
That's funny. I'm definitely gonna rewatch the VOD. I always rewatch the VOD.
Yeah.
you guys have any other questions, maybe for each other?
I honestly feel like we did pretty similar stuff. If you were also like, I mean, if you also went to GTG without anything, I feel like we did like pretty similar things at the beginning.
Well, we did pretty similar things, I think. but
Mhm.
you went to ice, and I never did that.
Oh yeah, well I went to Ice because it's either Requiem or Song of Time, and either way you get a bunch of information. Because if it's Requiem, then maybe Requiem's required, and I can just go there instantly. And if it's Song of Time, then I know I can just cross Wasteland and not worry about GTG and only do that afterwards if I didn't get more items.
Right. I don't think it's a bad play at all.
Hmm. And Song of Time, obviously, like maybe it's required for water, but like
Yeah.
very unlikely.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I feel like we did pretty similar things. I was definitely upset that like I couldn't clear out DC um, the first time, and I was really upset just getting the bow and hammer back to back after putting
Oh,
it on
that
so
was such a
long.
feeling.
Well, you were
No, we both did it like quite late. I was thinking I did it at like 1:35 or 1:40 or something, and I was thinking like, dang, he might have done this like 30 minutes ago. And I went into fire without a hammer, and got two checks. Like I like going into fire without a hammer so you can figure out if your hammer locked. But I just did two checks and they were both keys and I couldn't get the bombable thing. So I didn't know if I was hammer locked still, which
Yeah.
was
I went into Water Temple with no bow and no irons. And the funny thing is I absolutely could have. I could have technically gotten the boss key by doing that, but I think that was probably not my best play.
Yeah.
Because not only was there not a lot of checks I could get, I just kind of routed it really like wonkily.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
that probably lost me some.
well, both
Right.
were definitely exceptional plays. I mean, you had a Way of the Hero strength, which was
Mhm.
more Way of the Hero for your second strength to your Spirit Temple access.
Mhm.
I think it was mainly the only one that really stumped us for a while is the Hover Boots Way of the Hero.
Oh, that's just
And
for
I thought
Volvagia.
yeah, I figured that was Valvagia.
we
Oh,
figured it
wait.
was
No,
Volvagia's.
Volvagia was an item.
No, didn't Valvagia have a spell key?
Yeah, Volvagia had a
No,
stick or
she,
something.
Nope.
no, she had a shield.
Oh,
Yeah. It was an item.
that's interesting.
So the only thing we could think of for that is basically for whatever reason it had something to do with highest Goron for key logic.
Maybe.
Possibly.
Maybe.
It's an ongoing debate. We have no idea why.
Hold on. Let me think about this more. Why were hovers required? Obviously, like not for crossing the wasteland because we had long shot, right? That was in logic. We had long shot in logic.
Yeah, we had long shot really early.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you didn't have
I
magic.
But
wasn't sure it was
the logic
logical.
for getting to Spirit was an ice cavern, not through crossing.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Must have been keys.
It wasn't
Hovers.
Forest Temple like that should have been fine.
Yeah.
No, forest was definitely fine because floor master was an item, wasn't it?
It
And
must have
also we
been
had keys like super early, so it doesn't even
Yeah,
matter.
Cubs is saying that it takes 7 keys to knock the pillar down. So it might have generally been to get the highest score on
But
for whatever reason with
Could
hovers.
have been, I guess. Question mark? I don't know.
Who knows? It's just I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah, it's really odd.
it's the
Hmm.
only thing that makes sense at
Yeah.
this point.
Yeah.
But if there's
Wait, where
not
did we
more
get?
left,
Where did we get Zora Tunic? Again?
Zora Tunic,
Zoratunic was
Zora's and Cac.
cack.
Cac, yeah.
Oh, right, it was in CAC early.
Adult
Yeah,
Andrew, I think.
so nothing
Yeah,
for
adult
that.
and
Yeah.
two.
Yeah, I have no clue why hovers were Woth then.
Yeah, it has to evolve.
Absolutely none.
Mhm.
Okay, everybody. If there's nothing left except a debate about the hover boots, I would like to point out a few things. First of all, we got our grand finals for Group X set now. and have both
Exciting.
of our runners in here, right?
Mm. Yep.
Wait, just double checking, but grand finals are like if someone wins and losers, it's back to back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Dang.
two matches in a row.
Yeah, that's a slog. That's like 6 hours.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can be tough. Far from that, I want to show you a bit of what is happening next. That is not correct. It will refresh in a second. I don't know why it does that. There we go. Sunday, November 8th. Finals for Group B, Incoherent versus Rolo. Thursday, November 12th. It's Group D finals with someone you hear all day. It's Kari versus Our Wonderful Afterlife. This is a hype match for me. I want to see that. And on Monday, November 16th, we have Group C finals, Maverick versus Lefty. This is really the hot phase of the tournament. There are not many matches left, and most of them are just the last finals. And on that bombshell, I think we're gonna end this here for today. What have we learned from this whole seat and the whole situation? Yeah, scare your future opponent with execution when they are on comms, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what I've taken from this today, at least.
I mean, it worked for Kevin. It didn't work for me.
All I've learned is hovers are weird.
And
Yep.
Yeah, basically.
Mm-hmm.
a last
And Rush Eyes.
a last round of shoutouts today. Our lovely runners with us here in the interview, Lex and Kevin. GG to both of you again.
Yeah, GG's Lex.
Yeah, GG's.
Our wonderful trackers in the background that are Miraba and Karam. I can't pronounce things. I'm sorry if I butchered this. They worked so hard that you can see everything on screen what our runners have. And obviously, your commentators that guided you through the whole evening, day, night, wherever you live, our wonderful Kariokami and Mr. Carb. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for restreaming.
No problem. And on that, we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Until next time, everyone.